Welcome to IfundaPodcast. I'm your host, Simba Mandonye. So, a few months back, I was in a lecture, an entrepreneurship lecture to be precise, and we were discussing on the different types of entrepreneurs based on sophistication. We talked about the basic survivalist, the subsistence entrepreneur, the micro, the small scale, and the large scale entrepreneurs. But what struck me was that the most common entrepreneur in Zimbabwe and Africa was the basic survivalist and the subsistence entrepreneur. So I asked myself why this was so. My research then pointed to the high levels of poverty that existed in Zimbabwe and in Africa. So most of the entrepreneurs are actually necessity driven. So people actually get into entrepreneurship for the basic need to survive, to get food on the table, to pay rent, to pay rates, to pay school fees. So necessity has actually driven the African entrepreneur rather than innovation or impact. As if that's not enough, when forced by necessity into starting a business, we then have no clue whatsoever on how to run a business and let alone scale it. So to scale a business actually requires some form of leverage, or let's just say capital. What hurts me the most is that there isn't what I would actually call ideal capital for entrepreneurs in Zimbabwe. Banks literally don't cut it. Loans from banks aren't even ideal capital for entrepreneurs for reasons we'll definitely discuss in episodes ahead. To make it worse, some of the entrepreneurs are actually financially illiterate. This means that they'll never get the best capital, and if they do get the best capital, they probably won't utilize it appropriately. So I said to myself, how can I help the basic survivalist to become a large-scale entrepreneur? How can I help the entrepreneur who can't run a business to run it better? How can I help an entrepreneur to raise the most ideal capital for their business? So I decided to start a podcast, IfundaPodcast. So what is IfundaPodcast? IfundaPodcast is a business and practical focus show meant to teach anyone on entrepreneurship, on fundraising, on leadership, on management, and on strategy. In some episodes, I will invite guest CEOs, managers, founders, VCs, PE firms to share their insights, to share their stories, to share their strategies with a goal to help you scale and better manage your business. I hope that their stories will also be able to inspire you. You should know that the hardest part is always on starting. So just start that side project or business you've shelved for ages. To those who have started, I will leave you with the 10,000 hour rule by Malcolm Gladwell in the book Outliers. You have to put in at least 10,000 hours to be in the top 1% in your field. So put in the hours in your side hustle. Put in the hours in your venture to be in the top 1% in your field.